What is going on, everybody? I go by the name of Curry, and I want to thank you guys for joining me here today on Sneaker Fetish. All right, guys, now today I actually have one of the most interesting and surprising drops of 2020 so far. Nobody really saw it coming, but now that it's out, everybody wants to get their hands on a pair. So without further ado, let's get straight into it. Boom. And there it is, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Nike Air Max 90 Supernova. All right, now a couple of things to talk about with this sneaker here. First things first, this is a good looking shoe. Like, this is a nice looking sneaker here, and I think we all like it for certain reasons that I'll get into, but I'm gonna just say overall, as far as creativity, something a little innovative, something a little fun, different, really colorful, but the colors come together really nicely. I mean, they knocked it out of the park with these. It was a 3 sneaker pack, again sold individually. The first pair was a Nike 270 React, an Air 270 React that was really nice. It was more orange. You also had an Air Max Plus that was a more silver color, and then you had, of course, the Air Max 90 Supernovas. So let's take a little deeper look at the sneaker here. Let's see what we got, and then we'll talk a little bit about it as well. All right, guys, starting with the upper here, is a lot going on. I don't even know really where to begin, but I guess the best part for us to begin is what seems to be the most obvious, which is the print of the galaxy on the back of the sneaker here, around the collar, moving down into the back heel tab of the sneaker, and of course on the toe box. Now, this actually seems to be a screen capture or like a digital image that was printed onto the sneaker of a galaxy of a real supernova. We'll talk a little bit more about what a supernova actually is when we get done taking a look at the shoe. Now, on the plastic portions of the shoe where the eyelets are, these are alternating between this nice infrared color that actually matches the infrared stitching on this chromed out swoosh, and then you also have this tealish, kind of more bluish plastic on the bottom half of the eyelets. Now, the middle eyelet here, you'll see that's actually a piece of leather that goes down through the quarter panel, the top half of the quarter panel for that matter, down around the toe box of the sneaker as well. Like I mentioned, chromed out mirrored swoosh. Really like that touch here with that really nice infrared stitching going around that swoosh as well. Now, moving down from there, on the bottom half of the upper here, stingray leather. We have not seen stingray leather on a shoe in a little while. Now, one of the most famous sneakers I remember having stingray leather like this, of course, was the OVO Jordan 10s. If you guys remember that, those are really popular. This feels like a little softer stingray leather than that sneaker, but it's still really nice. I also really like the blue stitching that they use to wrap around the Air Max logos here on the lateral and medial side, and going all the way down the sneaker, wrapping around the back of the shoe as well. So you got black stitching here, you got infrared stitching around the chromed out swoosh, you have blue stitching on the stingray leather, lots of attention to detail on these. Now, going down into the midsole of the sneaker here, you get this really nice infrared airbag Air Max system here, and that's surrounded, of course, in the rubber here with this black and white splattered paint against the rest of that white midsole. Really like how they did that. Taking a top-down look at the shoe here, again, you see some more pronounced galaxy print on the toe box. You also see this really dope chromed out Nike futuristic looking tag on the tongue. Really nice. No extra laces with these sneakers, but you do get this little hang tag here. On one side it says Nike, on the other side it says SN 2020, which stands for Supernova 2020. Taking a look at the outsole of the sneaker here, predominantly white outsole, little touch of infrared on the top, a little bit of that teal green kind of bluish color moving towards the bottom, towards the heel. Really small touch here. You actually get infrared lace tips on these as well, but I've seen a lot of people switch out their laces with these, with white laces, different color laces. This is a fantastic sneaker if you want to switch your laces out on it, because you can go with so many different colors and they're all going to look really nice and pop against all these different colors of the shoe. Moving around to the back of the sneaker here, you see this kind of culmination of the different stitching, the different materials, a little bit of that screen print from the Supernova wrapping around the back. But of course, you also have that classic Air Max 90 Nike Air branding and tag on the heel. And last but not least, you have the insole here, all black insole with that really interesting kind of galaxy, kind of Milky Way looking graphic with the swoosh in the middle of it on the heel. And that's pretty much it when it comes to these. Now, again, I really wanted you guys to understand how dope this sneaker was by really understanding a little bit more about what a supernova actually is. If you guys didn't know, a supernova is basically an explosion that happens out in space. It's basically when a star is fighting against gravity and against its own forces and gases and nuclear and neutron energy, and a lot of things are going on that actually causes the star to explode eventually. When that star explodes, it creates this huge luminous explosion that can be seen throughout space depending on which galaxy the star is in, and that is what's known as a supernova. Now, astrologists everywhere actually study supernovas. They assign them names and years, which again is the SN 2020 here. If you guys look up supernovas, you can see different supernovas with different years on them. They usually are called SN with the year on it. It's an incredible event that happens out in space that astrologers everywhere really take a really keen interest in, and it's dope. It's a beautiful thing to see, actually. Now, that's one thing that I really like about these sneakers is that it actually speaks to a little bit of the nerd in a lot of us. Sneakers are so universal. It's not just for basketball players or runners or this type of person or that type of person. There's a community for so many different types of people, and there's a sneaker that feeds that community through so many different people. Chances are there were some really big astrology heads somewhere over at Foot Locker or somewhere in that chain that were like, man, let's do something about these supernovas here. Let's do something with that supernova concept. Now, of course, we've seen this concept before with one of the most popular sneakers, especially in foamposites, the Galaxy Foamposite. Now, that sneaker to this day, if you're trying to get your hand on it, it is going to cost you a lot of money. Either that one or the Zoom Rookie from the Galaxy collection. Either one of those sneakers is gonna run you a lot of bread. So I think a lot of people got super excited about these because the colors were kind of reminiscent of those foamposites. And for those of us that are too broke to get our hands on a pair of the foamposites, especially at a dead stock price, these were a bit of a consolation prize. So a lot of people ran to the stores to get their hands on a pair of these, and Foot Locker did a bit of a silent drop. They kind of released them online silently. They kind of stocked them in stores silently. And actually, the week leading up to the official release of these sneakers, when the date did get out, some stores were actually already selling pairs of the Supernovas early. I don't think that they really anticipated the demand, especially on the Air Max 90, as opposed to the other Air Maxes in the collection, but the demand was so high that before you knew it, people were all over Twitter with pictures of stacks of boxes of these asking for a lot of money for them. You gotta love the sneaker culture, right? Now, two things that I'm not really feeling about the sneaker. Number one, there's no 3M on the sneaker at all. And for a sneaker like the Supernova that's supposed to represent something really luminous happening out in space, it would have been dope if there was some 3M that shined real bright on the sneaker as well, representing that. Now, the second thing I wasn't really feeling is the fact that there also is no glow in the dark effect on the Supernovas. I actually would have thought that some of these little turquoise kind of teal hits glowed in the dark. Unfortunately, they do not glow in the dark. I tried it with my little trusty black light here, and the most that you're gonna get here is that the infrared stitching really does pop underneath a black light, so much so that I actually thought that it would illuminate or glow in the dark, but it doesn't, unfortunately. It doesn't illuminate, it doesn't glow in the dark, but it is what it is. So Nike, those are the two things that I kind of wish that you guys had implemented into the sneaker. I feel like it would have just given it a little more shine, a little more pop. But honestly, incredible job on these. I think that Nike, Foot Locker, whoever designed the sneaker really knocked it out of the park. It's a fantastic looking shoe, great for the summertime. It's a talking piece. It's an icebreaker for somebody that's into astrology or just really wants to know what in the world is that you have on your feet there. I've never seen those before. A little bit of an exclusive sneaker as well. These are red. These hit all of those check boxes and they knocked it out of the park with these. I love them. All right, guys, now it's time for you guys to sound off down in the comments and let me know what you guys think about the Nike Air Max 90 Supernovas. Are these ones that you guys were able to add to your collection? Are you still looking for a pair? Pairs don't seem to be too expensive on the resale markets right now. It seems like prices have calmed down a little bit. So if you want to get your hands on them, hopefully you can do that in the near future. Or if these were a hard pass for you, if you thought they were doing too much or if they were too busy, sound off down below. Let me know that too. Of course, right down in the comments, make sure that you click on that subscribe button so we can welcome you into the Sneaker Fetish family to make sure you don't miss out on any more heat that comes through like these, because I guarantee you I have a lot more heat on the way. As always, I want to thank you guys for joining me here today on Sneaker Fetish, taking a look at these with me, unboxing them with me for a couple of minutes. I go by the name of Kari. This is the Nike Air Max 90 Supernova, and until next time, I'm out.